Electronic Dojo has a following. You have a following.
We
want to see what people say, man.
Ain't nobody trying to hear no old man speak. We're recording now, though. Let me just double check that everything's working. I'm gonna send a message to
Chat.
these man. Got a special guest I want to bring on as well.
True that.
We'll see if he's down. We'll go on to that topic in a minute. Alright, calm. Let me just make sure that this is working properly.
Cool.
Update Twitch, no thanks. Electronic Dojo streaming. Imagine getting ads on your own things, man. So it's a mess. Alright, so that's moving head everywhere, looking mad in that. Naturally finished screen all my life. Naturally finished screen did everything right. So, I don't know what this is. We're trying to think. We'll see how it pans out. Don't expect anything. Don't expect it to ever happen again. You know how I do. But my name is Xavier. Run versus Fighting. And I just played the Street Fighter 6 beta over the weekend, like most of you. Absolutely loved it for a lot of reasons. Few hot takes, but most people seem pretty positive about it. We got Guerilla here as well. Might have a couple of others, let's call them guests, on. But I'm going to stream it for now. Have a bit of a discussion. I might mess with the footage later. We'll see what we're doing. But I just wanted to have a bit of a chat. Everyone's like still kind of high on the game. And I think going back to Street Fighter 5 has been hard. We were looking at it, what we're going to play next. I'm definitely looking at messing with some King of Fighters 15 in the downtime, but at the moment, I don't want to play. I just want to think more about like 6 and where it's going, what it looks like, and I guess from the jump, let me just get your general impressions, and I think just to frame it, we'll skip the obvious things. The beta was sick. There's bare content in the beta. It looks and feels great, and like for the most part, as far as a package, as far as like whatever this battle hub is, the customization, even with the madness, like the game is just a super good look for Capcom, and they've pushed the boat. I think we on the same page there.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really said otherwise. Like as a package, the game has smashed it. I go a step further in terms of my positivity. So I have to do that every time, man. Like I'll probably go second, but if you just give me your general thoughts first.
Cool.
How did you find it? Tell the people who you were using and why, and why maybe that gives you a bit more insight. And, yeah. Okay.
First and foremost, yeah, I agree. It was refreshing, and every element of playing the beta, for me, both online and offline, it arrested a lot of like the immediate fears that people had about the game, and I can get into that later. In terms of who I was playing, I went straight into using Kim. I've been Bushin Ryu since Street Fighter Alpha, and I saw Guy first come up, and I thought, who is this dude? He looks almost like Ken, but he's not quite, and his moves are almost like Ryu, but not quite, and it's like, I was pretty much garbage at that when I was like 12 years old. But I fell in love with the character, man, and when he made his resurgence in Street Fighter 4, I was like, alright, this is me. And then obviously with Zeku in 5, and now in 6, yeah, straight to Kimberly. It was easy to get to grips through her, more through the familiarity of the character. But then understanding like how the game is played, And knowing that, like, you know, the years that I know of Zeku in 5 and trying to translate to playing 5 compared to knowing next to nothing of the nuance of Kim, but playing 6. I enjoyed 6 more. I enjoyed watching people play 6 more because I felt like there was so much more to engage with just as a player, rather than feeling like, oh, we're in this element of the game now where it's left or right, up or down, or it's just a mix up, or I'm locked out. I've not come across any scenarios where I felt like I didn't have a chance outside of like specific burnout situations. And it's like, to get to burnout, I've made a sequence of mistakes and there's no other way around it.
Well, one. Jinty's shown up as well. Man, coffee. Oh, by the way, we'll talk about the merch at some point. We'll get to that later. But yeah, sorry.
No. And so, like, away from all that, I think my standpoint, I know you said you wanted to go a step further. I would take a step back just on the basis of the game is good, but specifically, it's good compared to Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
And the point is that you have to add that in, because I think there is like a sigh of relief from people who played 5 and saw 6. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it stands to the test of what the community deserves, if you want. But it's just so much better as a start than what 5 was in terms of what the beta has brought.
How do you feel about it? Alright, so that's a given. Like, where 5 was.
Yeah.
Where 5 was by the end, this already feels like it's there.
Yeah.
You obviously played like a little bit more than most people because you kind of rinsed it out at the offlines as well. Yeah. How does Kimberly like feel compared to well, not just Guy but Zeku?
I'd say Guy was probably a more Ryu version of Bushin Ryu. He definitely had like pressure. I don't think he had necessarily so much in terms of mix-ups. He didn't have like very like true pressure. Zeku, obviously, with all the style, the Pokemon, the whole thing, like he's definitely got mix-ups there. But even still, it felt like there was still a little bit of limit to them. Like when you think about like his V-trigger, he doesn't really even have like an in-store V-trigger. And there's a lot of tricks and setups that you see in Street Fighter 5 where when you know the counter, you just know the counter. It's more knowledge check than it is anything else. With Kimberly, I feel like she was designed to just have mix-ups. Like she's stubby. In neutral, if you play her slow, like she gets taken out like fairly quickly. You need to be willing to be like, nah man, I'm gonna just throw the random button out here and just see if you're paying attention and put that kind of pressure on people.
Hold on, so
go on.
That's like the main part. So say that again. That last sentence.
I mean, I was kind of just running. I was just thinking about playing Kimberly.
I know. So but you said like the key thing and the reason that I put that title up in the first place.
Right.
Because like the main comeback and probably the only negative thing I've seen on the whole game is this idea about drive rush. And because man said like being able to put out certain buttons, specifically like heavy buttons in neutral, like
drive rush or drive impact.
Drive impact, sorry.
Yeah.
Drive rush.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I'm with you now.
Yeah.
I was just going to have some deep take.
No. Drive rush. I got no qualms. Drive impact. It was the players that were playing Street Fighter 5 that are doing like long range heavies that aren't cancelable. The Ryus that were doing bare low forward into fireball, and it was 6 hours before they jumped in. That's what they were going to input. Those are the players that I've seen each time that have been like, I don't know about this mechanic. The players that are
because I already know where you're going.
The players that I didn't see complaining about it. Players that know about neutral, players that were happy to adapt quickly, players that played a lot of Street Fighter 4 and were used to dealing with focus attacks and troubleshooting really quickly. Those players I ain't heard nothing from.
Sure.
I didn't hear those players like worried, but like from these these new school players, these Tekken players, these players that have jumped on from 5. There was a lot of this kind of idea that drive rush is too cheap. Yeah, the driving pack, sorry, should cost 2 bars.
Yeah.
Shouldn't wall bounce. The scaling should be higher. This and that. But like within a day or two, for most players that were focused on it, I was seeing people blowing it up left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I was super comfortable blowing it up. You were blowing it up like within like a day easily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how much of that is Street Fighter 5 mentality and not adapting yet to?
Well, let me say this. 'Cause I'll use myself as an example. Not someone who's in 5. I was here before 5. I came into 5, and for the very things that 5 players got comfortable with, being able to, like, as you said, throw out these buttons from insane ranges, and it's almost like being rewarded for wish punishing more than anything else. Like that was confusing to me coming into neutral. Like that held me back for ages, just accepting that was part of that game. So coming back out of that and playing a very more with punish base game, which Street Fighter 6, I feel like that's almost like the core concept of it. I'm like back to form with that. Like in terms of the drive impact, it's like it's the easiest tool to get you out of a situation and also the easiest tool to trick you into a situation. Like I didn't practice punishing drive impact, but instinctively I kept seeing it as like a focus attack. So I try and beat it the way that you would a focus attack, because it's like, oh, I can see that's what you've hit, but it doesn't always quite work. It's got like 3 or 4 hits of invincibility.
4 or 3 hits, yeah.
So like trying to do armor breaks, because I'm trying to do an armor break which is like doesn't really work, and sometimes I'm trying to like block it because I'm thinking that they're going to release it early, but obviously if you're against the corner and it's drive impact, that's still going to wall splat you even if you block it and what have you. So it's little things like that which, given more time and more of a, that's me not adapting, but that's the point. I accept I wasn't adapting to learn how to beat it. I just feel like there's certain men there that have been very comfortable for 6 years on a very particular iteration of this game, right?
This is what I'm saying.
They, you've seen that shirt, innit? What is it? It's like excuse, complain.
Nerf buff patch and that's.
Yeah, thank you. You know what I mean? That last word is just like missing from them shirts, bro. So, as I said, I ain't got no problem with it, and I was someone who hadn't properly adapted to it, but it's one of the things that I should probably just go to the lab and just get used to hearing that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've been calling it Aurora Borealis, like, the whole screen lights up, you get the loud sound, it's coming, and it's just like...
You don't even have to lab it, really. Like,
you
see our reaction, you just press it back.
But that's the thing, my instincts, I think, focus attack. It's getting out of that discipline, but you're right, like, reacting to it, it's not tough, it's just making sure you're actually doing the right response to it. But as you said, the amount of times that I've seen people try scenarios and setups that I know are coming from 5, and I'm not thinking about it, I'm just driving back in and being like, hey, can you react to this? And it's like, no. And then it's like, oh, you're going to do a wake up drive impact. Well, if I meter you and cancel into a drive impact while you're in the wall anyway, like either I catch the drive impact or you block because you don't think to do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get my wall splat either way, except one of them looks sicker because you tried to escape with. So you know what I mean? It's all that, and that's that's beta days. It's layer 1 stuff.
Yeah. But it's dangerous. The reason I bring it up and the reason I like that title specifically is I'm hoping that Capcom won't do this. Right. But like when you put enough energy out there online at the right time, they start listening, and I'm feeling like we've got a game that they have smashed in so many different ways. Like I'm like, do you really think they're gonna mess up on the most important part of the game, the bit they've been working on, when everything else seems like it's fit into place? So that's where I'm at the moment. But I want to get Dante in. Dante, you still in chat at the moment? I'm gonna try and ring you from here. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't lab these things. We'll see how it goes. But let me put this in. I'm gonna do it on Discord. There's gonna be no camera. Well, go on, Dante. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Loud and clear, yeah?
Loud and clear, replay.
Let me just check, Banjo, Meek, if you're in chat, can you hear Dante? Or am I going to have to do some nonsense? I'll let someone just drag that back first. What in the mean? Oh, okay. Just to be... how loud can I get, man? How Dante? How loud can you go on your
How
end?
loud can I go?
Yeah.
Why am I too quiet?
If you can get louder, it would be nice.
I don't know if I can turn myself up still. Wait there. Can't you turn me
You
up?
can do it on Discord, can't you?
Well, the output volume or something.
Yeah, more
Can't you turn me
time.
up on Discord?
Yeah, bear with me. Oh, nah, you know what? Let me just hope for the best on this. Let me try that. Alright, say something one more time and we'll see where you're at.
Yo.
Alright, sounds good to me. Sounds louder than before at least. So,
Yeah.
man jumped onto Street Fighter 6. I saw some things on Twitter that made me think, but firstly, like, well, go on, how you finding the game?
The game is very fun. I'm having withdrawal symptoms already.
Hey, we're all hurting.
Yeah.
True, man.
We're all hurting.
Fiends everywhere, bro.
It's definitely like I would say the best 2D game I've played ever. Like, and that's the beta. So I think it's sick, and it like I do really like the game. So yeah.
Okay, so anything in particular standing out that you don't like so much, or anything that we gotta, do a little bit more on?
Okay. Remember, this is coming from someone who isn't mad high level at Street Fighter.
But let's not undersell it.
That is
Someone-
very true. I'm joking.
Yeah. So-
Jinty's saying you're damn right, but let's not undersell it though. You are damn good at Tekken, and like we respect your opinion as a competitive player. But like there might still be some differences. So yeah, talk to us.
So basically, this like from the thing is, okay, if there wasn't a problem with Drive Impact, no one would be talking about it. It's definitely an issue. Like, people are talking about it because it is an issue. The worst thing is, I went into practice mode and I did the anti-Drive Impact stuff, and it is way too hard to do that. And remember, like I can play Street Fighter. Tekken's a reactionary game. Like, I have reactions in it, and that mechanic there, it's way too hard to counter and way too easy to use. Basically, like, it has armor, it skips neutral, it wall splats on block. What's the point in burnout state if it's still gonna wall splat you on block? Like, I guarantee if they don't do something about it, you will see people get robbed a lot in tournament by it. But I know for a fact they will nerf it because it's too stupid.
Okay,
right
so
now.
let me ask a couple of questions.
They will nerf it.
Let me ask just a couple of questions. So, because you said a lot of things and I wanted to pull out each individual point. Firstly, you said it beats neutral. So, I've got a question for you.
No, it skips neutral.
It skips neutral.
So it travels very far and
Agreed.
it's quite quick. And it has armor.
So do you not think that it's fully reactable at all times?
No. And it's reactable, but what you react to it with doesn't work in all situations. Like, it's weird because your options are parry, jump,
yeah,
parry, jump, your own drive impact,
Yep.
and throw.
Yeah.
And what else?
And break it with
CL or Super or something. Yeah.
That's way too hard as well. That's way too hard as well.
and most importantly, break it with normals. Yeah, you can break it with.
You can break it with normals, but not in all situations.
So yeah, I mean,
this is the thing about it. If this move was just you can do it in neutral and that's it, then it would be different. But the issue is that you can cancel it off normals into it, which is crazy.
But isn't that the solution to it as well? In my opinion,
no.
The solution to it is to cancel your normals into it on reaction, and that's what carried me through the whole beta.
Yeah.
You're not using it just like basically that is making the assumption that he's already absorbed my attack to use it, when that's not the case most of the time. Most of the time you're going to get hit by this. It's not when he's absorbed your attack to use it. That's probably the worst time that for him when you've done it. It's very easy to deal with in that situation.
Okay, alright. So we've got one way that it's not bad. Okay.
It's hard to deal with in situations where it's like they've done certain normals on block stun, and then they've cancelled into the drive impact, and then now it's like it's very fast. So like
26 frames. It's 26 frames.
I was gonna say, yeah, I wanna object to
It
that.
feels very fast compared to like I've tried to jump it, throw it on reaction, and then like a lot of these times, like bro, you will just get like it will float you out the air and you'll get wall splat anyway. If you block it, you get punished for blocking in the corner. Like, come on, bro. Like you get like why is burnout state a thing if you're still gonna get wall splatted on block? Like it shouldn't do that. If it should guarantee a mix up, okay, cool. But wall splatting and giving you free supers and shit, like that's not cool, bro. And remember, you lot are looking at this from the perspective of people that have been playing Street Fighter for a very long time, and you lot are very high level at the game.
Whoa! That's cap. That's cap.
This man is gassing to make his point, you know.
No, we're all like ultra platinum max at Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
Ultra diamond.
You lot could all play like this would be like me. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine like. Bro, there's something that like everyone hated Fakamram's unblockable in Tekken, and it's like the same thing. You can beat it with things, but it's still dumb because you can use it in situations where they just can't do much about it, and it punishes people too hard. But anyway, getting off Tekken, but like yeah, you lot are looking at it from that perspective. But this move is way too easy to access. It does too much, and like. Don't lie, bro. You, man, have been robbing people with this move. Don't cap it.
Hold on.
Don't cap it. I beat people that were better than me just by using this move.
Nah. Listen.
Don't cap it.
Nah, man, because you can't. Look, new game, new ranks, new rules. Right, it's a 3-day online beta. Dante, I don't know if you can hear me, bro. 3-day online beta. So no matter where people were in Street Fighter 5, where they've been in other games leading up to this, man, some people, they're just slower learners. Some people pick it up quick. I've seen some amazing players come out nowhere. What are you saying?
I hear you, but when man's in practice mode and I know it's coming and the counterplay is still an issue, that's when it becomes an issue. Well, it's like, okay, it doesn't cost a lot.
Yeah.
It does a lot. It gives mad reward and it punishes something that punishes regular defense should not be that easy to access and that hard to. Wait.
So just to be clear, doesn't any launching command grab in Tekken, isn't it easy to use and difficult to deal with for someone who's new to Tekken?
Well, if someone's new to the game and they don't understand how to break a throw, then right. But okay,
if you do understand how to break Bob's grab,
a launching command grab is like. Bro, first of all, it's a high. Second of all, you can sidestep it. The amount of counterplay to it.
I don't play Tekken. That's not something. I'm saying I don't play Tekken. That's gonna hit me.
Remember, like breaking it as well is very easy. It's very reactionary, and it does
breaking throws in Tekken.
It doesn't punish you like the same way because I'm not skipping neutral into the command grab. I have to get close first. And then do it.
Grab?
Like this move.
It's a command grab.
It doesn't have armor as well. Like my command grab doesn't have armor. This move has armor. It moves me forward halfway across the screen. It's cancelable off normals. It punishes me for blocking in the corner where I need to block. It forces me to do things like jump and these things where like if you just stand there or whatever, like you know what I mean. Like it forces too much onto the player. That's what I'm saying.
So,
and it doesn't cost a lot.
So like, to be clear, I agree with you that at low level, at beginner level, it's incredibly strong.
Like V-Trigger.
It's easier than V-Trigger though.
Yeah, it's easier than V-Trigger.
Because you can spam it.
This scenario, have you been hit with a normal and then he's cancelled it into the drive impact? And then wall splat you for blocking afterwards. Have you been in that situation yet?
I was in that situation on Friday and Saturday. Yeah,
and I'm guaranteeing it.
But by Sunday,
don't cap it.
By Sunday,
it is reactionary.
It hit.
Nah.
It's a skill issue. All you want. They're gonna nerf it, bro.
They're not gonna nerf it.
They're not gonna nerf it.
They might nerf it if the pressure groups get too high. But I'm trying to curb that and let them make the good game.
I don't think they nerfed it.
No. It would be an amazing game if they nerfed this driving.
Nah, It already is.
It will still be amazing. Why does Drive Impact need to be in the state that it's in?
Because
this is not good for the game.
The reason it needs to be as strong as it is and exactly as it is because if you nerf it, it becomes too weak.
No,
my worry at the moment is that Drive Rush is perfect.
It does not need to. This game would be amazing if Drive Impact was not in the game at all.
That's true though. I agree with that.
If they took Drive Impact out tomorrow, nobody will cry about it. Apart from people that were getting carried by it in the first place.
Well, I think
those are the only people that will
there's
cry
no
about
place for Drive Impact because it's so reactable. Like, if you do it, the person that does it first is gonna get punished at high level.
Unless it's like a footsie based tool, i.e. I think he's gonna, or I'm going to react to a fireball at this range. Ryu does the fireball, you press the button on reaction, great. But at that point, it's acceptable. It's a good tool then.
And that's the only use I can see for it so far.
Or on a hard read, I think Ken's gonna drive rush in and use heavy kick. I'm gonna do it on reaction.
Burn out on the corner, get myself a dizzy. But it's like I've earned that because you're burnt out in the corner.
If you're not burnt out, I don't really. You should not be punished. You should not be wall splatted when you're not burnt out. Like, I feel like that's.
But
that's
don't you feel like
someone's
gonna be looking for Drive Impact if you're in the corner, so you can.
You will be, but then this is where the issue comes of. The move is too. The counterplay to it is too hard because of the distance it covers and the amount of armor hits it's got. Like, the amount of armor hits that it's got. How many armor hits does it actually have?
2,
3. It might have more than 2.
Oh yeah.
Third
breaks.
How many is it?
2. 2 hits of armor.
And then
the third hit will break it.
But on the second hit, you should we can already hit confirm into DPs, supers, anything else off 2 hits. So it should be easy for us to hit confirm into a single press.
That's if you already are attacking. But the way the move moves in, like the way it will force itself through the neutral onto you, it's like it will close the distance and it will it's hard to throw it. You try to jump it by that point.
So you're saying that you're reacting? He's saying that he's reacting too late to it and it's causing problems.
That's cool, bro.
That's cool,
bro. Like, come on, like.
I don't like getting hit by snake edge, but it happens sometimes. And once I'm used to it, actually, it's not that snake edge is too fast. It's that I'm reacting too slow because I'm thinking of other things. Mm-hmm. And when you're in the corner in Street Fighter 6 at the moment, we are scared of getting grabbed. We're scared of drive rush combos. We're scared of pressure. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, we're scared of drive impact. And because of that mental stack, different players are having different levels of trouble with dealing with it. When you simplify it,
reacting too late. It's about them forcing situations onto you where you have reacted, but your counterplay to it, because it's an unblockable, your counterplay to it doesn't start up fast enough in those specific situations. So it's still got punished.
But by definition, it starts in one frame.
If you do it on reversal.
It's not that it's not too slow because it's your answer is immediate, just the same way as a drive parry is immediate, drive perfect parry. I'm not saying that that's easy, but for sure, drive rush is easy.
Drive
impact is easy and it's cheap to do. It doesn't cost much as one bar.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
But you can't always respond. You can't always respond with drive thingy though.
You can always respond
as long as you've got one bar. You can. In fact, you don't even need a full bar because if you haven't got enough to pay for something,
it still lets you do it.
It still lets you do it. So as long as you've got any form of bar, you can utilize that to reversal drive impact.
Singles saying the same. Singles saying that people are getting rinsed by focus attacks. And focus attack backdash.
Focus attack weren't as bad because it doesn't skip.
This isn't what people were saying on day one, though. On day one,
focus attack is not as bad. It weren't as fast. And it doesn't go in.
Focus attack is way faster.
Focus attack was way faster. Focus attack was substantially faster.
No, but the only time focus attack punished you for blocking is when they did the full charge focus attack.
Yeah, and people were stuck in the mind game for like months trying to deal with it, and then dealing with the next layer.
Remember Dante, because remember focus attack will crumple you anywhere on the screen. If someone DIs you in the middle of the screen and you block it, they've just lost a bar for nothing. Most people don't even get like advantage off you blocking a DI in neutral.
Yeah, I'm on exactly that. That's the topic right now.
So it's like if you're in the corner and you're blocking, like my first thought is, bro, why are you in the corner?
Yeah.
Why are you in the corner? Like, what game are you in where it's like, this is where I want to fight from?
Bro, there's characters that put you in the corner are fucking anything, bro. Like,
Nah.
Wait, which character is this?
Yeah, which
Street Fighter 5 kid?
Listen.
I didn't even hear what you meant.
Street Fighter 5. I mean, like.
Yo, can I throw some stats out in regards to that? Right. So let me just say this. You got the game for Street Fighter 6. I said it already. I'm adamant about this. The game is about addressing situations and punishing them accordingly. That's why this idea of like punish counter is so massive, because it's like, hey, look at what they're doing and then respond to that. Like, I don't know if anyone else has noticed. For me, the tempo of the game actually feels slower than 5 or 4 for that reason, because it's like, we want to give you the opportunity to see man did something and not say, I'll allow it, I'll catch the next one and just keep him block. We're going to punish you for blocking all the time, you're going to lose meter. If you're always just mashing buttons, you're going to get counter hit, you're going to lose meter. And if you always like let things go when you're in the corner and you wait till you're in the corner and you wait for an opportunity, you're going to get wall splatted and also lose meter. So with all of that in place, like, I see why they've given drive impact, which is this 26 frame move that once you adapt to it, it's like, now this is easy to respond to with either my own for one bar and get a counter combo, a jump if I want to be more optimal, or even a throw. And if they try it outside of the corner, I'm good. It's like, don't be in the corner, which is fighting game universal, right?
Yeah.
Learn to respond with the proper button, and the proper button in this case is literally the same button they just tried to hit you.
Yeah, and also, like, I think you touched on it nicely. What it punishes is very lazy, very passive defense.
Exactly.
I'm gonna sit on down back. I'm gonna sit on down back. I'm gonna sit on down back. I don't want to press any buttons. I don't want to try and interact. I don't want to try and guess. All I want to do is hold down back, eat throws, eat overheads, and hope for the best. And it says, no, you can't do that. Here's drive rush. Here's drive impact.
You play.
Guessing. You're already guessing. If you're in the corner and you're holding down back, you're already guessing. How can you say that you're trying to avoid guessing by being in that situation? You are forced to guess in that situation.
And do you think that's good or bad that you're forced to guess in the corner?
Huh?
Do you think it's good or bad that you're forced to guess in the corner?
Do I think it's good or bad that you're forced to guess in the corner? Like, you okay. That's a hard question, because
it's not though, is it?
You should be forced to, you're forced to guess in certain situations. It's like, that's how Street Fighter works. Okay, you're forced to guess in the corner, but if I'm holding down back, that is not lazy defense. That is just like, bro,
it's the laziest defense.
One of the least risky things you can do in the corner.
So let me ask the next question. Let me ask the next question in Dante. Do you think that down back should be considered a lazy option in the corner?
No.
No.
I think it's not considered lazy.
The down back is a good option.
Like, I don't understand why are you even bringing lazy into it?
Well, let me say this. I can prove it's lazy. I can prove it's lazy.
Like, it just always be doing next match.
Nah, Dante. I can prove it's lazy. I can prove it's lazy.
The man's got science.
I promise you, I can prove it's lazy.
Listen. You can call it lazy all you want.
No, I'm saying I can prove it. I can prove it as soon as you finish.
He ain't calling it. He's proving it.
There's an option that is the least risk. If you make a game where there's not an option where there's a least risky approach, then that means the game is just going to be hella random, and it's just going to be based on just random situations happening all the time.
Let me ask a different question.
You can lower the risk.
Let me ask you a question just to be totally clear.
About this game, there's another thing apart from drive impact. Let's say they don't touch drive impact, and they call it cool. Let's say it's just a scrub killer, like you might want to say. Let's say it's a skill issue.
Yeah, it really is a scrub killer.
You know they're gonna nerf it, because deep down in your souls, you know it's dumb, innit?
What? No. I'm sketchy point, man.
The next thing, I don't know if you man will be able to argue with this. If you man argue with this, you man are mad. But okay, why can I do drive rush? My overhead now becomes a launcher, and it's safe on block.
Because
because it costs resources.
You can't stop.
Because it costs
your bar, bro. Just wait.
It costs 50% of your bar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when
No, that's cap. That's not true.
Yeah, on a combo. Yeah.
In neutral, it doesn't. I'll just make that distinction. In neutral, it's cheap, and in neutral, it's cheap, but you have drive impact.
But you know what it is in neutral? It's you forward dashing and pressing a button. Say again?
I said it's mad cheap, like Justin said, because when you do block the overhead, you don't get a punish.
Yeah, so let me just reiterate.
Blocking that.
Let me just reiterate what happens to be a fantastic punish to that. Drive impact.
What? Drive impact is a punish for it. What?
Yeah.
Like out in every situation.
If someone uses drive rush in neutral,
you would have to be mashing drive rush.
you have to be reacting to Aurora Borealis drive rush neutral into an overhead. These overheads are 20 feet.
We're just saying you want to react to a forward dash with hazard lights on it, bro. It's what it is. It's a forward dash. You're checking a forward dash.
No. It's a forward dash into an overhead. These overheads are 20 plus frames.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you got more than enough time.
Is every overhead in the game 20 plus frames?
Most of them are. Then it's like
there might be an exception.
18 frames is probably like the cricket.
But let's be honest. If it was 10 frames,
10 frames in a 15 frame dash.
Are going to drive impact.
Half a second.
Drive rush into overhead every single time.
Let me just give you the maths on that properly. Let's say I know Trund's dash is 19 frames in this.
Okay,
it's slower.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 14 frames.
Exactly.
Let's say your overhead came out in 15 frames.
Half a second.
Yeah, you're looking at half a second to react. We react to things substantially more, faster than that. So
heavy Koku from Zeku is 24 frames.
Yeah, everyone's reacting to slow Hazanshu's. So if you can react to Hazanshu, you can react to Aurora Borealis character, flashing green, dashes in and goes for overhead, and you can do that with the mechanic that you want to make worse.
Yeah, but like making it worse the way I want to make it worse wouldn't make it so you can't punish things like that with it.
I mean, you were saying that if we eliminate it from the game, you would not.
Yo, can you when Tekken 8 has a beta, can you bring me back to complain about this? The same way, fam.
Huh?
I was saying when Tekken 8 has the beta, I'm coming back to complain about your game like this, bro. I'm telling you.
You can complain about Tekken. I complain about Tekken as it is. Oh, I complain about Tekken 7 all the time, and so does all my people around me. There's a lot of problems with Tekken 7.
Agreed. Like Tekken's got its own issues. Let me.
I'm not. Don't think that I'm out here saying, oh yeah, Tekken's perfect and Street Fighter's shit and nothing like that. Like, bro, Tekken 7 has way more issues than what Street Fighter 6 has, and I've been complaining about them for ages. But like, it just is what it is. Like now said like literally 2 issues about the game. I have 2 issues. I love the game. I have 2 issues that I think are a bit too dumb. And you lot are saying it's a skill issue. If it's a skill issue, cool.
What was the other issue?
I know that they're going to nerf drive. They will nerf it.
Drive rush into overheads.
Well, can you do drive rush and then not press a button though?
Yeah, you can do drive rush into low. You can be drive.
But then drive impact
whatever you want.
And at that point, guess what? You're playing Street Fighter.
Yeah. That's what people really hate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're playing Street Fighter again. Yeah. And people don't like it.
Drive impact. If it was just drive impact, I don't think anyone would be complaining.
No.
They're complaining because what's actually happening is they're in the corner and they're getting grabbed and they're getting overheaded and they're getting pressured, and then someone's hitting crouching heavy into a drive impact and they're reacting too slowly. Yeah. But that's part of Street Fighter. That's how it works. And if you are paying attention and you've got a read on that person and they do what you expected, you get a big ass punish off it.
How can you say that's part of Street Fighter when there's never been a mechanic like this in Street Fighter? Even focus attack isn't the same as drive impact.
It's very.
So I don't understand that. I don't understand where you're coming from. Where you say this is Street Fighter because this is a brand new mechanic.
What I mean when I say is this is Street Fighter is you are thinking on your defense. Street Fighter 2 can't take throws. Street Fighter 3 are they gonna guess parry? Street Fighter 4 if I get hit, what am I doing now?
And you can't even say you can't. You have to think on your defense in every game. And if we're gonna bring that one into it, like Tekken, you have to think way more on your defense, way more because it's a 3D game. So you can't even bring that one to me about.
So why don't you just think drive impact then? If you have to think less, then just think drive impact. Like, bro, if you're in the corner, I'm saying, like, take the example of you being in the corner, right, and you think the setup is coming for like a drive impact. Of what I've played, and I've already admitted to Jinty and Justin before now, I did not actually practice proper scenarios. I just went into matches, and if there was something that I thought, oh, that was crazy, I would maybe lab that. But for the most part, I was just playing matches. The point is, if you're in the corner and you're concerned about drive impact, if you had to suffer a block string, you're already blocking anyway. You're not thinking about that, right? And the way that everybody was using drive impact, people weren't even thinking about throws like that because people weren't even trying to throw.
Throw is like the universal counter to it at all times, even in burnout.
Exactly.
It's way too hard though because I tried that.
What did I just do on the screen? What did I just do on the screen?
The only thing you're thinking about
What? Like, look at the screen. What have I just done on the screen?
I'm not even watching this.
It was synchronized perfectly. The second you said that, I just seen Jaden go for a drive impact and get grabbed by me.
Let's say they don't nerf it. You really think that once you play this game, you won't get robbed by drive impacts?
Yes, 100%.
Someone will.
I'm gonna clip every time you get robbed by it.
That's fine.
Every time.
You have 0 clips, but okay.
What I will say is, I'm not saying I'm immune to it. I'm gonna get hit sometimes. You're saying am I gonna get robbed by it? I'm not getting robbed by it.
I've been jumped.
You lot are pretending like it has no use other than to punish things.
No. It's another fantastic tool.
You're basically saying that it's way easy. That like it's so easy to counterplay that it's just useless.
Look on the screen there. Look on the screen.
Ridiculous. If you could see the screen, like you're talking,
I can't see the screen.
Nah, it's that makes it funny then.
This is my Saturday play when I wasn't playing well. How many times are we seeing the same? I'm robbing him, but he's not robbing me.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see the screen in it.
You did. I should have played you. I should have played you.
The way you lot are talking about it is that the counterplay is so simple and so easy that you
really
should never get hit by it unless you.
Well, firstly, I mean, you've said so easy and so simple. Let's at least admit it's simple. You press the same buttons. You press heavy kick and heavy punch at the same time. It couldn't be more simple.
Button, you can map that to one button.
You can map it.
You can map your get out of this. It's already back.
It's already back.
It's pre-mapped. So let's not say it's easy and simple. Let's just say it's easy if you want to put it that way.
So do you lot think that they won't nerf this?
I don't think so. Not full release anyway.
Based on how on the ball they've been with these mechanics, based on how good they've put this game together so far, I think they know better than to nerf it straight away.
So you really think that they're not going to nerf it? Like,
I don't know.
real talk. Like,
Definitely not on release.
If it's a problem 6 months later, if it's a problem like 6 months in, yeah, sure, maybe they'll take a look at it. But on launch, I don't see why they would change it because it's fine.
Yo, Dante, if you know jump is a way to beat drive impact, why don't you jump all the time? Like just literally without even checking for where the drive impact is on the screen and reacting to it. Like why aren't you just in the air all the time? Like why would you not do that as a?
You can't be in the air all the time.
Because why? Because why?
Because you can get anti-aired.
Right. So you're saying that the situation that someone might anti-air you, which is a way harder thing to do, because you're expecting them to react to your jumping with a DP, an invincible DP at that, which I don't think every character has outside of like OD. And using
normal anti-airs are definitely back in this game.
100%.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the game's better for it as well.
Yeah,
Guile crouch heavy punch is so easy. Boom, straight out of the air.
But that's still someone reacting to your jump and punishing that while they're trying to drive impact you all the time, which is what you're concerned about.
How many times does that have to happen? I was bad today.
Yeah, you're afraid of jumping because anti-airs are in the game, and what I'm saying is that there's single button anti-airs for people because of the normals. So it's like, do you want them to nerf anti-airs so you can't use a single button to nerf the jump?
Why would I nerf anti-airs? I'm not complaining about.
But surely anti-airs are simple and easy. Street Fighter 5 especially.
Yeah,
they're simple and they're easy. Yeah. They're one button and you just react.
They don't punish me for blocking.
No, they're punishing for jumping because you're trying not to block.
Yeah, so your argument is, and I think
I've already made a mistake by flipping jumping. Like I've took a risk that I know that boom, like I can get.
So you don't. So what you're saying is you don't believe it's okay to consider blocking to be a mistake.
Yes.
And I think that's an ideological issue.
Yeah, that's true.
Why are you blocking a mistake?
Because everything in a fighting game should carry some kind of risk.
Yeah. There should be a way around every type of play.
It shouldn't hold that kind of risk.
So exactly. So we've got different ideologies on how much of a risk it should carry.
Yeah.
But I don't think that instantly makes it a bad game because blocking has a high risk. Blocking in Marvel's no great idea either.
I said that Street Fighter 6 is probably the best 2D game I've ever played.
I get you.
So, like, me addressing this as an issue, I feel like you're taking this as a like, I'm saying, yo, this game has a massive...
No.
I'm saying, I personally think that, first of all, they will nerf it, and second of all, this is one of the only issues that the game has. The netcode's amazing, the neutral's good, the characters look sick.
The neutral's...
The neutral's been skipped.
Like, literally...
How would you know? Yes. How would you know? You fast forward through that part every time.
No, Dante, you can't see the neutral's good and the neutral's
You've never seen it because of drive impact, bro.
What?
You've never seen the neutral because of drive impact, innit? That's the whole base of your argument. So how can the neutral be sick?
I've never seen the neutral because of drive impact. I have? Like, what? Like, bruh, neutral even though that's in the game.
No, so, like, really...
I did not say there's no neutral because of drive impact. I said this one mechanic is
He said drive impact skips the neutral.
And you can do it 6 times. 6 times at the start of the round.
I mean, to be fair, the only thing in this game that fully skips neutral is perfect parry. And we already know that. That's too difficult.
Yeah, man. It's like...
What? Wait there. What? Huh?
Perfect parry categorically skips neutral.
Yeah.
You don't have to play neutral if you can do that every time.
You've just blown my mind.
It's
Did you just say perfect parry skips neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's designed to do that.
It beats damn near every move in the game and gives you a full combo each time. So if you could do that every time, it would skip neutral. You can't because it's friggin' hard.
Mm-hmm.
But
what? You're reacting to something.
You don't have to be.
Like you're reacting to something perfectly and punishing it. How is that skipping neutral?
Because you're skipping the block string that comes. It skips the mix-up that comes.
It skips every poke in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, but block strings and mix-ups are not neutral.
Pokes are, and it skips those.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, bro. Okay, so you're telling me you can just
Look at the screen, man.
pokes on reaction?
No, I never said anything about on reaction. All I said was
it
skips neutral. I didn't say anything about on reaction.
It doesn't skip neutral.
It does.
You just said block strings and mix-ups are neutral. Block strings and mix-ups.
I didn't say that.
No.
Zan might have said that.
I might have said that. Yeah.
All I'm saying is it skips the actual neutral, the pokes. And to some extent, it skips the
pokes. It doesn't skip pokes because you can't react to pokes with perfect parry.
You can't.
No,
hold on. You can't react to everything with drive impact either. But you got umbrage with that.
You can't react to everything
with drive impact. You're talking about people doing drive impact like from the jump.
You just moved the goalpost, bro. You just moved the goalpost. Like, bro, you just said that perfect parry skips neutral, and you said because it skips the pokes part, and I'm saying you can't perfect parry these pokes on reaction, so it does not. Skip
Okay,
neutral.
I don't think it skips.
The reason why I say drive impact skips neutral is because it literally moves your character like quite a lot of distance across the screen, and if they are blocking, even without burnout state, they will get wall splatted, and you can get a combo.
All right,
and
so
if they didn't react within obviously this time frame or whatever, with the right move for that right exact situation that you put them in with that drive impact, they will lose a lot of health because they were blocking.
I mean, there's no right situation. There's one button.
Parry does not punish you for blocking. Parry punishes you for you doing something, and then they reacted perfectly, and then they punish you with after the parry.
I don't disagree.
That takes skill. Drive impact does not take skill. Drive impact puts all of the what do you call it? It puts all the accountability on your opponent. It literally it puts everything. It takes no effort on your side, but your opponent has to do a lot. Like it has to be very fast. Has to be looking out. Has to be looking out for it. Has to be doing all of this. Has to do all this hard work to not get punished for blocking.
Whoa! That's not entirely true. It's not to not get punished for blocking. It's to reward you with damage. let's not pretend that dealing with it don't do it.
One of the biggest purposes of Drive Impact is to punish your opponent for blocking.
Yes.
That's why it will splats you, even if they are burnt out, and that's one of the reasons why most people use it. Like because that's
look on the screen. How many times have I done it now?
Dante,
I'm gonna send you this video afterwards, and you can explain to me how me, who I don't consider to be a crazy good player, I consider myself to be good at best. And not at Street Fighter 6. But for some reason, I'm running footage right now, and everybody in the chat can see it, where I am frequently, consistently dealing with Drive Impact on reaction. That can't just be. I'm not better than Phenom. Phenom is incredible. I've seen him complaining. I'm not better than Mr. Crimson. These guys are incredible, and yet
you are better than pretty much. I'm pretty sure you're better than like 90% of Street Fighter players.
95, but
statistically, 95. So
but I'm not better than Street Fighter 6 players, and I'm dealing with one simple tactic.
Yeah, but there's a reason why I did say okay, I'm not the best fucking, I'm like not that high level at Street Fighter, and it's fucking like what I'm saying is okay, maybe you lot can deal with it consistently and this, that, the other, but even then there will be times where you lot get hit by it as well. So imagine like the people that are below this level or whatnot, like how are they gonna deal with it when it's so easy to use, and then it's so like it's not easy. You even admitted yourself it's not easy to use the counterplay to it, but you can do it.
It's not easy. It's not easy to avoid getting jumped in on. I get jumped in on all the time. I eat jump-ins all the time. But I get jumped in on in fighting games all the time. People jump in on me and land attacks, and it's hard to defend against. But I do it enough. I'm able to do it enough that I can beat a lot of players, and that's all you need to do in Street Fighter 6. You don't need to be able to deal with every single Drive Impact that ever comes your way, and I'm not professing to be able to do that, but you need to be able to do it enough to not get robbed. And I'm saying that's totally possible for any intermediate or better player.
I doubt that, because like bro, you even said when you got hit into moves and then they did Drive Impact afterwards, you was getting smoked by that as well.
No, I was saying I get hit sometimes, and I was saying that's the main time that it happens.
Like you know, bro, that shit is hard to deal with.
I mean, we're literally watching footage of me proving otherwise.
Drive Impact.
We're watching footage of me showing like the goods, and I'm saying this is bad footage. But anyway, I didn't want to bring you on to smoke. I actually didn't think these guys were gonna fully agree either. But it is what it is. So I want to end it up now. But before I do, let me get just your general thoughts on Guile and how you found him as a character, because I weren't able to run into many, and the ones I ran into, the Guiles I played, they weren't good. They were they were throwing fireballs from very bad ranges. I've got ways to deal with those things, and it was a problem. But yeah, so how did you find Guile? What was your approach to him?
I feel like Guile's very solid. Obviously, Guile's Guile, and he's always going to have the sick normals. He's always going to have the good zoning and whatnot. His combos are flashy. They're good. They do a lot of damage. What I didn't understand about Guile is that, okay, why... This is what I didn't understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but why can Ken do low forward into drive rush and I cannot? When theirs is low, their low forwards have extended range in this game from the other games, and theirs is special cancelable as well, and they can do low forward drive rush, but I can't do that. Why not?
Is your low forward cancelable?
No.
Nah, that's probably why.
Yeah, go, bro.
Why
That's it then.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it. You can't cancel his low forward, so you can't do drive rush.
Yeah, cancelable normals can't do it.
Yeah.
Is it only moves that aren't that are special cancelable that you can do drive rush?
I believe so.
Yeah. That was by design.
So Guile's pretty much unlucky in that sense that his low forward is never special cancelable.
Yeah.
I guess you're gonna have to play a version of Guile that doesn't rush down. That's mad, isn't it? That's crazy. That's crazy.
But having low forward drive rush is one of the strongest tools in the game, I think, because not only is it really good for whiff punishing, and no buttons will go under the low forward, but it has a lot of range, and then obviously it stops your opponent from walking back at a lot of ranges, and they can eat a lot of damage just because you clip their leg walking back at certain ranges.
I'm gonna say I never used
it forces them to sit there and take your throw mix-ups a lot more. So I feel like low forward drive rush, drive cancel is literally one of the biggest, like one of the strongest tools in the whole game, in my opinion.
It's very good.
It's similar to low forward AX fireball or fireball. Focus attack. That's what it's for.
So the main thing is it is very expensive. And now that you've landed that hit and dashed in, you usually have to use more meter to get anywhere. So it is a very strong tool, but you've used 50% of your drive meter just to do it. You're probably using an OD move to get the damage conversion off it. That damage is the damage might be high. The damage might be high
because your super meter is not connected to your drive rush, your drive meter. Being able to do that kind of stuff into like level 3 supers and that, the reward is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but the risk is very high as well. You're not doing it.
What?
I mean, you're not doing it on reaction for the most part, are you? Are you like?
Yeah.
Well,
you're
just reacting to a button.
Whiff punishers. It's one of the best whiff punishers because it's got some of the most range. And there's nothing that's really going to go under the low forward.
Yeah, I agree. It's a sick tool, super sick tool, and the best thing about it is that it's rewarding you for whiff punishing, which is a good thing for Street Fighter.
But you can stop it.
Not only that, but it's still crazy for mix-ups as well to catch people.
Yeah, and then you're going in with overheads and lows.
Yeah. True.
So it's an all-purpose seasoning tool, and it's really like you can't downplay low forward drive rush.
I don't think anyone's. It's really good.
I'd say just be more specific.
It's amazing.
It's expensive though. It is expensive.
And I'd be more specific about it.
Downplay saying it's expensive.
It's not.
Anything with drive rush is expensive.
Do you know what? It's more, but you got to think about everything that you've just said. Like, you're not doing all of those options from exactly the same point on the screen. Like, if you want to use it as a mix-up tool, you're actually close. If you want to use it as a whiff punish from half screen, you're really far away. If someone's trying to touch you with crouch low forward into drive rush and then punish you, like, they can't discern at that distance whether you just went for a jab or whether you tried to poke them with your, crouching fierce or whatever. So if you jab, they throw out the button. In Street Fighter 6 wants you to punish baiting that button back.
Banja's got the jokes. He's saying the answer to everything is always driving back anyway.
But then throw out a jab and drive impact, bro, and see if you ain't punishing that drive rush. Man's gonna hit his low forward into your armor, right? He's then gonna cancel and lose 3 bars just off the drive rush alone. Then get punish counted.
I mean, make no mistake. What
you lot are saying is basically like, there's some counterplay to it, but like, look, there's counterplay to everything in every fighting game,
including drive impact.
Like you can't just always bring up the counterplay to it. Like the fact what it does, what it actually does is a lot.
But Dante, to be fair, like nobody, like we all say it's strong, so we're in full agreement with you.
Yeah.
Like, why are we bringing up like the fact that it's expensive and all that? I'm
just saying like it's just an observation. It's like it is strong and it is expensive, but it's very good.
Amazing, but the thing is, you don't even need to drive rush. You can still, these characters that got it, they can still special cancel their low forward anyway.
So I mean, you're just saying Guy doesn't have a cancel move,
which is
like
fair.
Low forward, which that sucks.
Like now you've fucking told me why, because it's not special cancelable. I didn't know it was only special cancelable normal.
Chun's in the same position. Chun's standing heavy punch. Can't cancel it with drive rush. Sucks. Would be such a good tool, but I can't do that.
Am I being mean by saying that maybe you just don't want to get whiff punished?
Huh?
Am I being mean by saying that, like, as good as that is, and I do understand everything that you said, and it is true, even if it's expensive, like, you can go from half screen, get a full combo, Oki, the whole thing, go into an OD for a knockdown, or maybe even into like a critical art level 3, whatever. But I'm saying that it all starts from you getting whiff punished to begin with. So it's like, maybe you shouldn't be okay with being whiff punished.
Plus Gar has that heavy punch into it.
That's not what I said. I said, bro, how do you flip that onto me?
Yo, Alex is a bully still.
I'm a bully. It's for content, man. It's for content.
Like, fam, what do you mean? But I want to whip punish people with that.
No, but you got back heavy punch, which is amazing with Guile anyway, and still gives you the drive rush.
It's not a low, but listen.
It's good.
Okay, cool. But as I said, Guile's very solid, and he does his job. His zoning's amazing. Like still, even in this game where there's still answers to zoning and whatnot.
Anti-air is insane.
So
Yes,
like, there's not much to really say. Like he's just Guile in it. Like Guile is Guile. He's not too much different from what I see.
I got one question about Guile in particular, but I don't know who you were playing. Did you fight against many people who were perfect parrying your fireballs?
No.
I didn't see many people doing it at all, but perfect parrying fireballs is absolutely incredible in this game.
Right.
Wait. There's one thing I want to ask you as well. You know when you don't perfect parry, I was struggling to get, like, you know when you parry something but it's not perfect?
Yes.
I was struggling to get a reward off that. Do you even get a reward?
Not really, no.
It's you get meter
What?
back in it.
Yeah, so regular parry, it gives you no reward really, and it puts you in the same block stun as you would have been in if you had just blocked the move. That makes it sound useless, but you take chip damage, well, you take chip to your drive when you block a fireball, for example. So this is a way to negate those things.
Basically, what you're telling me is that the only real use of it is to absorb fireballs in neutral.
No, it's to stop you from taking a lot of chip to your drive. So it saves you drive meter if you're using it effectively.
But the thing is, I get that. Like, say, obviously you're absorbing the fireballs, but I mean, like, when you're using it against offense now, like, it's to me it sounds like doing the regular parry doesn't sound worth it, because the thing is, if you like the risk that you take doing the parry, being able to get thrown out of it and all that, like, I feel like the risk is too much.
Can't you like drive reversal out of
parry? Yeah, you can do, but if you're doing that on offense, you're getting punished in the face for the most part, because you've just put yourself in the block stun that you would have been in normally, and then dashed out of it from negative frames. So normally the other person's going to see it and mash.
Right.
But you're right insofar as drive parry by itself isn't very useful. It changes when you start to see how serious taking that chip to your drive is. Say you've just converted into a drive rush combo off some footsies, and you're 50% down now, but you did some good damage. And then let's say it's going really well, and they try to drive impact you, and you counter that and do some more damage. You're on 2 bars, and at that point, taking a lot of chip damage is a problem. Let's say you block 2 moves, and then the guy converts into a super. You're in burnout now. So like, when you're like 50% or 3 bars or lower, and someone's throwing like fireballs at you from the other side of the screen, you already know that like neutral jumping it carries a bit of a risk, and blocking it now starts to carry a serious risk. So it's useful for that instead. So it seems useless, but I think as the game starts to develop, it's like, he needs to parry now.
It seems like meter management. Like, it doesn't seem useless, but I mean, the actual use of it isn't the use that I thought it would be. I thought you would still get maybe a jab punish off, like, if you parry certain like.
But you do, so you still get parries, you still get punishes off it, but only on the unsafe stuff.
Yeah.
So if somebody like say Ryu
target combos or something.
Yeah, say you start parrying and then Ryu jumps in at you and there's heavy kick into low forward Hadouken. You can punish that. Yeah, because the Hadouken's unsafe on block.
Yeah, it's unsafe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the Hadouken's unsafe on block. But if you blocked it anyway, does that not change?
Yeah.
Does that change much? Because like, wouldn't you be able to punish it anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. So there was no point in doing it, but it's not like it removes your punish from you. You still get your punish as normal, but for the most part, it's about perfect parrying. And for the most part, other than stuff like Hazanshu's or there's like a few moves in the game that are there to be like perfect parried, but other than those things, like the main use for it, as far as I can tell, is for perfect parrying fireballs, because that's where you get the real like rewards. But
what reward do you get? Like, so if you perfect parry a fireball from far, can you like drive rush out of that and then punish them?
Kind of, but really the benefit is that you recover instantly, and because you recover instantly, you ruin their fireball timing at full screen. So you have a pattern. You know exactly when you should throw your next Sonic Boom after the first one's blocked in it. It's built into every Guile player. You throw your fireball, and then you know when the next one should be thrown. Perfect parry removes that timing. And another obvious one is Ryu throws a fireball, and then he throws another one. Normally, you can't dash between them. If you perfect parry, you've got time to not only just dash, but you can dash and then drive impact the next one.
Okay.
So
what if I do the Guile V skill though?
I don't know enough about Guile to know for certain.
Have you?
What about 3-hit fireballs? Pretty much is what I'm saying.
It will still work.
I was gonna say, yo, if you
perfect parry 2-hit fireballs.
I believe it perfect parries both of them for you, but I need to double check it.
Okay.
Because
So it does dissipate the fire. Because I was gonna say, does the fireball stay on just like you parry and like move past it?
Yeah. So it nullifies
the fireball.
Yeah. So the fireballs are gone.
Yeah.
But you've recovered instantly, and the zoning player can't really react to that situation. And at full screen, that's whatever.
He can't react. He freezes the screen, right?
No, perfect parry in a fireball doesn't do the freeze frame. What it does is it gives you a slightly different sound and a slightly different color. It's quite hard to notice it unless you're looking for
I
it.
think you're thinking about like when you perfect parry like normals and stuff like that.
When you perfect parry a normal,
just
for projectiles, it's just instant, and it's actually cancelable. So you can at like mid range, I can perfect parry a fireball and then cancel into Chun Super, for example, and punish.
So you know with parry though, like because you can drive rush out of parry in it.
Yes.
Like, you can do parry and then drive rush in it.
Yeah.
But like, can you do that after a successful parry?
I believe so, but I didn't experiment with it enough to know for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that into like a low. You know those moves that carry you far, like drive rush into Ken's heavy kick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can do stuff like that and straight up punish, but I haven't experimented with it and I don't want to guess.
Right. Have you seen that people what they've been doing, the zoners, they've been flipping drive, so that say I do Guile's V skill and then I do the slow one, so you jump it from far, right?
And then drive rush into anti-air, and then you can get them to bounce off the fireball, and so on offense you've got your own stuff, that you've got your own dirt again,
bro.
And that's Maddox, that's 3 bars, and you were throwing it out in neutral for the most part. Who knows if it's gonna work?
But bro,
it's good though.
You're doing that on reaction though, so that like, and then boom, you've got them in the corner. Even though you spent them 3 bars, like you depending on what the health is, that could have been maybe killed, bro. Because if I hit you in a combo into Guile's flipping his Sonic Hurricane, the air one.
Yeah.
You get EX flash kick after that.
You do mad damage.
It does damage in it.
So that stuff is beautiful. My personal favorite thing is still level freeze and burnout, but there's so many little drive things that we can do, little nuances. It kind of makes it so that there's no, like, nobody can tell you how to play the game.
What do you mean level freeze and burnout?
Yeah, what do you mean with that?
So if you're, let's say you're having a really good round, there will be some in my footage. I've started off, I've landed a combo, I've gone into an OD move, 2 bars gone. They're near the corner, I've gone for a drive rush, and then I've decided to convert that again, 2 bars gone. And then I've done something else, something's happened and I'm in burnout, but I'm working on a perfect, I'm doing really well. You can put yourself into burnout, and if you're pretty confident, your next move, if you cancel that into a level 3, your burnout meter will still be coming back while you're in that level 3. And those animations are quite long. So you're playing, basically you're being rewarded for playing from ahead and taking big risks. Because obviously you're in burnout, so you've got problems. But then you take that big risk, you land your level 3, and now maybe like 50% or more of your burnout bar is back, and you're still on the offense, they're still not down, you're still pressuring them. So
you get rewarded for winning, pretty much.
Exactly. Street Fighter 5, you got rewarded for losing. Yeah, and now it's like
rewarding you for losing. Sorry.
Yeah, but you don't have to play like that. Some people are like, I'm going to play conservatively.
Yeah.
I'm not going to burn out. And then there's ways of punishing that as well, because obviously supers drain your opponent's gauge. So you can do a few things to force them into dangerous situations. So there's so many ways to use it. I barely touched drive rush in this. Some people's entire game plan was, I'm going to land my drive rush combos, or I'm going to land my drive rush mix-ups. I was using them a tiny bit.
It was literally only on Sunday for me that I started using, because I was playing Kim in it, so it was like dropping far spray can to bait the jump and then drive rush, crouching heavy punch and and all that. It's literally the last dance I learned. I only did it because I thought it was sick.
Yeah. You just get to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think like the big takeaway is just, man, the game's fun. You can play it however you want, man.
Let me ask you something then.
Shoot.
Who's your top 3 from the beta, in your opinion?
In my opinion, this game is so well balanced. It's not even funny because of stuff like drive pack. I'm deadly serious. You put perfect parry in the game, put drive rush in the game, you can do a lot. But I will say Jury is very strong and Kimberly is very strong.
And Ryu.
People have been saying Ryu, but the players that have been saying the people that have been saying that Ryu is really strong to me are the same people that have been struggling with drive impact and I haven't been. So like,
what's drive impact got to do with Ryu specifically?
Reaction to his fireballs. You can stand in his fireball range, and you've got a one-button solution that's guaranteed to punish him.
Throw loops is the only thing.
It's throw loops.
That's the reason why I put him.
We're on about Ryu the character though. We're on about him, like not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying he's very strong, but there's a mechanic in the game that's simple to do that punishes one of the things he likes to do the most.
Yeah, his fireballs definitely feel a lot more, I'd say, safe. Like especially when you're not right in front of him, because he can kind of check the space if you're trying to advance on him. But
does he really need to zone in this game though? Like, bro.
Maybe not. But the things I've seen is like Ryu's damage is crazy good. But
I'm one with him, and he, bro, the damage is nuts.
Having a fireball that's unsafe up close, like in this kind of game, dangerous.
Yeah.
Having something that you can deal with him at range with is ideal. So I mean, he's got good stuff. He's got forward heavy punch, which is plus, which is good. But again, that kind of loses the drive impact if you're early.
What? So you're not going to react to forward heavy punch with
no, but if you're throwing it out in a neutral skip, you're going to deal with it. If he's throwing out fireballs recklessly, you're going to deal with it. So I'm not saying he's bad. I think all the characters in this game are great. I didn't think anyone was weak.
I just want to add in terms of that the matchup. It's like conceptually when he's trying to gain distance with the solar plexus, isn't it? Yeah. So when he's trying to gain distance with that, or by throwing out a fireball, you're at that range where like, what else are you really doing?
He has telegraphed ranges sometimes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what else is he really going to be trying to do to you from that range?
The one thing that he will be doing is low forwarding, because his low forward is crazy.
Yeah.
But
just that is like.
But again,
even from the VSF flipping beta, I knew that low forward was fucked.
But the thing is though, that low forward is so good that you can base your whole game plan around knowing that he's going to be using it a lot, and now you got footsies.
Wow. So, bro, but that's on the Ryu player though. If they get outplayed trying to use that too much, then that's on them. But if they use that well and they use it as a whip punish, or they use it when they know you're gonna walk back, or they use it like just at certain good times, like bro, it's a crazy tool. That they can just literally snowball the whole round off one opening.
But again, like which character? Well, I mean, I can't say that, but I'll say that Chun's got. I'm saying Chun's got good footsies as well. I wasn't concerned. I don't know about the rest of the cast. Drury's got good footsies. I would say Guile's got good options. So at least half the cast, the half of the cast that I messed with, had options for dealing with a really good low forward, or they had their own. So,
Chun-Li can special cancel hers, but she can't drive rush it.
Who?
Chun-Li can special cancel her low forward, but it doesn't have nearly the same range as Ryu's, and you can't drive rush hers either.
I don't care because I'm using. I didn't check. I think you can, but
no, you can't. I went into practice mode with John because obviously I played with John. I went into practice mode, so you can't.
So you can cancel off it, but you can't drive rush. Oh, that might be a
I
thing,
don't think. Well, I tried.
Nah, you know what? No. Cap. You can categorically drive rush off Lowe's Chun's low forward. I did test it. I didn't use it much, but I definitely tested it.
Oh,
maybe 1 million Hawks is in chat. Yeah, you categorically can do it.
Right.
And some Chun-Li players will only do that. I didn't use it.
Her low forward does not have nowhere near the range of Rize though.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable challenging his with it. I'm comfortable with my footsie game. It doesn't matter if
but that's you as a skill. I'm on about the tool itself though, and what it does for you.
Some characters have better tools than other characters, man. We're not getting into that discussion at 10 o'clock, bro.
I mean, so at the same time, it's like, but I had drive impact, I had a Zanshu, I've got standing heavy punch, I've got Kikoken, I've got moves to deal with that, and I think everybody probably does. So you can just space it out. But yeah, good move. But yeah, Ryu seemed pretty strong. The characters that stood out for me were Jury and Kimberly. And Kimberly stood out for having nonsense, not for having good neutral. But she's stubby.
That's the point. She's not playing. I'm saying
she's got a good standing medium.
Yeah, she's not necessarily playing the same game that everybody else. But I will admit that. But I think if she tries to play the game that everyone else does, or you force her into that, right, she's gonna suffer for it.
You can't force her into it though. That's the issue.
Yeah, you got to play around it for the most part.
You can't force her to do that. She can get in at will, and you got to hold it, and that's it.
I disagree. Totally disagree with that. Yeah. I mean, for one, you got DPs. For one, you got dragon punches in the game, like.
Okay, so she wouldn't be good then. If you can just force her to play that game and then she struggles at that game, she wouldn't even be good.
I think we're splitting hairs though. It's a good character in it. What? It's a very strong character. I would say, in my opinion, not knowing anything about everybody, I would have said she's the second best character in the beta. But
why though? If you can just force her into playing neutral,
I mean, you still got to make guesses. She's still got crazy stuff. She's hard to react to. Her comboing off overheads is on another level to everyone else, in my opinion.
Wait, are those overheads seeable?
I don't know. I didn't test them enough.
Well, they are though. They're seeable, right? Just like you said.
I haven't experimented to know. I've experimented with drive impact. I haven't experimented with Kimberly's overheads.
Her strongest overheads are actually it's the OD teleport, because it puts you right in front of them, and it's almost like a safe jump.
Is that the full screen one?
Yeah, it's like the cloud.
No, that is fully reactable.
Yeah.
That's fully. I was reacting that. I reacted that with. I think there was a match earlier. I was reacting to that with supers and stuff.
Yeah. No, I've seen a lot of that.
What do you mean earlier, bro? What, you still playing this shit?
Oh, no. I was running my old games from Saturday, but it showed some of that stuff. So I was clearly reacting to to some of that stuff without even labbing it. But it's pretty good. I'd say Kim's looking strong. All of this might change a little bit, but I don't think anyone truly felt weak. I didn't play enough Luke to know.
I didn't see much Luke.
Luke looks pretty good from what I've seen.
I mean, mainly we saw Luke on modern controls as someone's first.
That was a lot of it. To be honest,
that was Luke. I seen Hawk saying that Chun-Li's standing light kick went under the radar. No, it didn't. 5 frames, long range, cancelable. That move's sick.
I didn't play a lot of Chun. I did see though that Chun's stance where she just goes into that stance. She just sits on the fireballs.
Oh,
that's a bit mad, isn't it?
You low profile fireballs.
You don't low profile fireballs by base.
It went onto my sonic booms. She could just sit under the sonic boom.
I need to test it.
Yeah,
I need to test it.
Just sit under the sonic boom. I swear the guy.
They are generally higher than.
Sonic booms are higher. Okay, interesting.
Okay,
Could be the case.
Good for God, man.
John Lee Guile then.
Maybe it doesn't go under Ryu's fireball. It doesn't go under Ken's fireball. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No way, that's mad.
So that sounds crazy.
Bad matchup.
Yeah, Hassan's saying he didn't see it, but yeah, for the most part, we're pressing medium punch from that stance. If we see a fireball, but
which is a standard low profile.
That stance is incredible, man. It's so well designed.
What are you saying about Hasanchu reward though?
Hazanshu heavy being safe on blocks a bit extreme, but
and then you get low forward into whatever the fuck you want.
Fireball read, but I mean, then I'm reacting to a fireball, so I'm getting rewarded, and
a bit too much though. Come on. One fireball.
The main thing, the main weakness with it, in my opinion, is the range. At a lot of ranges, you don't get the full conversion. So that's like a standout for me. But the other thing is, ultimately, like, nobody can't react to Hazanshu's with a drive impact. So it really has to be on reaction. So it's plus on block. Oh, there we go. I finally used it. So yeah.
So what? Drive impact is frame 1.
Yeah.
The
the
armor.
armor.
The armor comes out immediate.
The armor, yeah.
So if you're...
No, I didn't know that, so that's probably a layer of the game that I need to explore when I get it. You can react
Oh
to a lot of
my
stuff.
days.
That's a very, very
I didn't
important
know
say
thing.
we-
I didn't know. Bro, to be fair, I played the game for a few hours. I only played the game for a few hours.
Fair.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like,
So
like,
my main defense for drive impact on Friday, EX Hazanshu is unsafe current. My main, like on Friday, I was saying that drive impact was too strong. On Saturday, I was thinking, On Sunday, I was thinking if they touch it even a little bit, it's too weak. So that, but like on Friday, after 4 hours, I was saying this move's ridiculous.
You know that they're gonna nerf it though, innit?
No.
The only way they will nerf it is
I'll put a bet on. I'll put a bet you 10 at the nerf it.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
the only
You
way
take that bet.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take
If
it.
they nerf it in any way,
on day one. On day one.
On day one.
On day one.
They will nerf it by
No, I don't think
by
so.
release.
On release, it's gonna be the same.
On
They're
release.
gonna survey and everything. They will nerf it in
On release,
some way,
it's gonna be
shape,
the
or
same.
form.
The only way they will nerf it is if they take the opinion of people who didn't rinse the game long enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, bro, the beta was only for a weekend, so. And remember, you're like one of the best players in UK at Street
No,
Fighter.
no. Now you're gonna get me
How long
murdered.
did-
Now you're gonna get me murdered. No chance. No chance. I'm an average player. Top cat. I'm taking that soundbite, and that's gonna be used for the rest of my life. However, that is cap.
Happy know you are one of the best players in UK at Street Fighter.
Nah,
25,000 on Street Fighter 5. That don't count.
nah.
Nah. Million.
LP, top rank.
That-
Even in UK.
Ranked is important for the UK.
Even in UK, like
Ranked gives a clear indication.
What rank are you? Ultra Diamond.
Yeah, that's
high. How many
that's good.
Ultra Diamonds are there?
Ultra Diamond, I would say, is very, very good and definitely below competitive.
Yeah.
Like
That's cap.
There's-
You won that Brum tournament, didn't you?
nah.
against who? No offense to that.
You won the
Like,
Brum tournament.
no offense to that. No offense to them, man. But like,
And
nah,
bro, how often do you even compete?
I don't compete.
And you won a tournament in Birmingham, so I
That
don't want to hear it. You
tournament
don't
didn't
even
count,
compete
though.
like
Nah,
that.
I mean, I'm gonna say it don't count. I'm not gonna discredit anyone that was in there. And remember, like, there's still, I'm still playing Blanca. I'm still catching people with stuff that they don't want to learn how to work against. Fine, and they have their own characters that I do have against.
Downplayed stuff. That's a guess, but you don't want to fucking admit.
It's like if you want to compare, like, because people in gold are like the top 10% of people in Street Fighter.
Right?
Yeah, and they don't mean anything. Gold players are terrible.
I did not say any
When-
of that. I just
when you-
Guerilla did not say any of that.
I
Like,
said-
that was not out of my mouth.
Gold players are top 10%,
But they're the top
and they're
10%.
terrible.
They're the top 10% of people who.
They're terrible in your eyes because of how high level you are. What is the percentage of Ultra Diamonds in the UK?
0.01%.
So what? So me saying that you're one of the best players in the UK is actually factual. So I don't want to hear it.
I mean, from the competitive base, though, it's not.
Numerically, facts.
If we're saying that the UK has 128 competitive players who are going to travel out and play,
That's true.
then I'm not making top 8. I'm not making.
What I said.
I'm not making
one
top
of the best
16.
players in the UK. I didn't shorten it down to the amount of people that are going to travel out. And
So
I
who
said
you,
one of the best
are you
players in the
complaining?
UK.
So you're saying I'm one of the. You're saying, just to be clear, then you're comparing me to. You're comparing me to
I'm
like
comparing
Wi-Fi
you
warriors.
to every Street Fighter player in the UK. I'm not comparing you to every high level. But
I'm only talking tournament players, so fair enough.
I said you're one of the best Street Fighter players in the UK.
So are you?
Yeah, that's
So
the
you-
point. So are you. By the same metric.
Well, with the same logic, yeah. Well, not really because I haven't won any tournaments and I don't compete at all. So really and truly, I have more. I can say that about Justin, but really and truly, Justin's capping when he says it about me.
I'm saying suspect, but in any case, I'm saying I don't think I'm that strong, and I'm saying I don't think that I think people 3 levels below me will be able to easily deal with drive impact if they want to.
Cap.
Yeah, compared to little Timmy on his brother's PS5.
Why are people complaining about it then?
Because they've only had 3 days.
3 days. 3 days.
No, it's because they didn't have enough time with the game, and the time that they had that I spent dealing with drive impact, they spent on drive rush, they spent on drive parries, they spent on learning 4 characters instead of 1. I spent time only dealing with this one problem, and I feel like it's very easy for people to deal with. Other people didn't.
I feel like though.
I didn't even learn combos with Chun. I don't even know what the max combo is with Chun.
I feel like the fact that it took you a whole weekend to be able to actually effectively deal with it
16 hours.
That it's too hard.
What?
To
3 days?
Counterplay, but too easy to use. Because if I go on Tekken 8, if they do a Tekken 8 beta tomorrow, and I'll block snake edges all the time. It's the same thing. If it's a 26 frame snake edge, I'll block it.
I don't know what a snake edge is. Let's use me. Yo, use me, Dante. Use me. I do not play Tekken. I don't know what a snake edge is, fam.
After 3 days, he's still getting hit by snake edge.
I'm probably still getting hit because I still don't know what it is.
You're getting hit by snake edge after 3 years.
What is snake edge? Which move?
Brian's low launch.
3 years.
Down forward.
All right, that's cap. After 3 months, he's still getting hit by snake edge.
If you want to bring up the James Chen footage, because the argument that does this argument, you know, that does this argument, man. Like
James Chen is the evidence of what it means for a new player to jump onto a decent player on other games,
but new to that game, new to the nuance of that game, trying to figure it out against people who have a legacy. Like one thing that I can bring up is like League, and Justin knows about this. There are men who were like, say 10 years ago, what they call Season 4, where they were diamond players. Yeah, they've left the game, tried to come in with new elements, new whatever. They cannot get into gold because the people who know how to play this game in gold know more than what the diamond players used to know. They're not necessarily better than them, like in terms of how they can play, but they know so much more that the diamond players can't keep up.
Kieran's just saying he got hit by snake edge today.
Well, there you go.
Nah, but you can get it. Like, trust me.
I know. Like everyone can get hit by snake edge.
Maybe because of the connection, or maybe that it went under something.
Yeah, but, everyone can get hit.
Not gonna be able to abuse snake edge on you in Tekken the same, because on top of that as well, the reward for punishing snake edge is way more severe than the reward that you get for reacting to drive rush as well.
I mean, people are gonna get hit by. I'm not gonna argue too much on it. I know what you mean, but like
you get where I'm coming from, knowing it. Like, I'm not
who's got like Lily Ford? Is it Lily Ford 2? That's her I forgot what the names are.
Armor move.
Yeah, that's her armor move. Yeah. That's going to hit a lot of people frequently at a certain level, and they're not going to punish it properly.
But the thing is, not only will they probably not punish it properly because of the short blocks done or whatever, but basically it has armor though, so like not only it kills offense, so it automatically has more utility than the snake edge.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like
it will absorb offense.
That's why I'm saying this is a better move. Like Lily's Ford 2 is a better example if we're talking about what it means to do a drive impact, because it does the same thing. It leads to a high damage, and although it doesn't kill you on block, it won't be punished appropriately.
Nah, but
man's asking where
the big difference is drive impact wall splats you for blocking, whereas if you block Lily's armor move, you get to launch it. It's completely different. I mean, the punish concept is the same. Launch it, there would be nothing to be said, because really and truly, that's the way you lot talk about it. Is like that's how it should be. You should be using it on reaction. to beat things and to do what you're doing in it. So really and truly, why shouldn't it be launched on block? Because you should be using it on reaction. But instead, if you block it, you get wall splatted, even if you're not in burnout, which is silly.
How do we
Okay. Listen. This is about yo.
Dante's sick, you know. Dante's sick.
That was a great mix-up. That was a great like
Conversational mix-up. Dante just tried to impact us.
Yeah. But you know what? It's the principle of how you think about the game, right? Like I see blocking as a passive. It's a passive choice. It's not necessarily a bad choice.
Down back blocking.
Yeah. Down back. It's a passive choice. And I feel like Street Fighter
at some point in every fighting game though.
At some point,
and it has to carry a risk.
Yeah.
And here the risk is slightly higher.
No, but it doesn't have to carry this much risk though.
But this game is about saying make an active decision though.
Be a low risk option. If there wasn't like in Tekken, let's say you took out Korean backdash cancel. Yeah, like that is the low risk option in movement. If you took that out, Tekken would automatically become a way worse game. Because everything will be based on reads and stuff, whereas you have that low risk game plan that you can go to. Whereas in Street Fighter, this is what I mean. Without drive impact, like you would be able to have that low risk play style, and like it would be good for the game.
Alright, so we've been going for like an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
So let me just ask one more question, which I think might put us in a nice position to kind of end it. I already know what the answer is, but I'm gonna run it anyway. Would you categorize yourself as a defensive player in Street Fighter?
Me?
Yes. Just remember you play Guile as well.
I'm gonna say if he says I'm walking at you. I'm not finishing the street.
That's what he
I
says.
don't like as a defensive player. Like no, I can't say that because I think
blessings everyone. It's been a great stream. Thank you so much.
No, he's left his hat. I think we're good.
Yeah, but basically, what I know I have bad habits in Street Fighter. I feel like I play Guile too aggressively sometimes, and I jump a lot.
Wait, would you accept that maybe if you feel like that you've got bad habits in Street Fighter, would you say that maybe holding down back too much is one of those options rather than finding other solutions for it?
No, because I don't feel like I do that too much. I feel like I do other things too much, like
fair enough.
Panicking and stuff like that. I feel like I do that too much in Street Fighter personally. That's what I feel like. I feel like I jump way too much and I'm too aggressive in Street Fighter sometimes. I feel like I should focus on defense more with Guile because I feel that plays more into Guile's strengths.
That's fair. That's
my opinion.
I feel like you're a very, very defensive player who likes to down back.
Street Fighter.
Yes, 100%.
You think I'm a defensive player in Street Fighter?
Not in Street Fighter 5 PK Saga.
I think.
No, I think so. Like he's zoning. Bear zoning.
Once the stay back, once the pro things on the
man,
screen.
of course.
But that's my opinion in it. Like
that's my I'd say that.
I don't know. I don't think I'd say that. I think it's quite offensive.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm offended by how defensive it is.
The thing is though as well. It does definitely depend on the matchup. It definitely depends on the matchup. If I feel like I can zone someone out, not even just a character matchup, player matchup as well. If I feel like I can zone you out and I don't have to really try much, then I'll probably do that. But if I feel like you have too many options that beat my fireball, then I'll be more offensive. But sometimes I feel like I'm too offensive against those certain characters, if that makes sense. But that's just me though.
That's fair. We ain't gonna psychoanalyze the game, but we've been going for bare long. I'm trying to get some sleep. I got work in the morning. Let me just get some closing statements from you, like general thoughts or whatever, and then we'll lock up and we'll probably do more of these. I want to hear more of your opinions on Tekken and whatnot as well. But yeah, just general thoughts or anything else like from you before we lock off.
Like anything else about Street Fighter?
Well, just anything at all.
I reckon the netcode's sick.
Yeah.
The netcode's good, right?
I've got no complaints with it.
What do you say, Justin? I'm with Jinty and Dante, bro.
Yeah.
For the most part,
I had no issues.
What we saying?
The netcode is amazing, bro. From what I experienced anyway, when I play people close, I didn't have no issues. No one-sided rollback. So I feel like they've done a huge leap in that way. And then I feel like the Battle Hub thing is a sick idea as well.
Yeah, sick lobby thing.
That was a sick idea.
Alright, so if anybody's looking at the screen right now, the match footage, you can tell me how you feel about this.
Yeah, that's one off though. How many times?
I was gonna say, man, I did have one bad match. I had one bad match.
So I will say categorically, I had a lot of laggy games, and it was always under the same scenarios. Anyone I knew, anyone whose name I recognised, fine. But anytime I sat at an arcade cabinet and accepted a random game, I didn't know what I was gonna get. So
were they from close though? Or were they like random Europeans from Russia and shit? You didn't even know that. You didn't even know they was.
It could be from either, but there wasn't a good filter system for me to find out. But the match you're seeing on at the moment was me playing against an American player. I was able to play against other American players, like without issue. But I can't say that I didn't come across lag. Man, I seeing what I was going through here in tournament. This was a tournament match.
There could have been West Coast or something, you know, like
it could have been anything.
People were playing West Coast, and it was fine.
Nah,
so
well,
this is the player. This is like this might be Wi-Fi wire. This could be all sorts.
Yeah.
But I definitely had a lot of laggy games, and those games were worse than what I will fight on Street Fighter 5.
I
hardly had any.
I had one laggy game that I can remember, and that's it. Otherwise, it was smooth. Smooth.
I feel like you probably just had some unlucky players.
I played the game a lot.
Say
It was your connection.
Wow. Could be. But I wasn't lagging against any of you guys.
No. I was streaming at the time.
He actually was.
Only this time? This is the only good footage that I've got, I think.
So maybe the streaming as well?
No, because I was streaming a lot and it was fine.
Fair.
Like all the sets I played, fine.
When you played someone that you knew though, didn't you feel like the netcode when you played someone that you had a good connection with was better than Street Fighter 5?
Same as 5 for me, but I've had a good experience with 5.
I thought it was better.
It felt better to me.
You know what? The one thing I will add though, which I think people should be way more careful about, is it's one thing thinking the game feels good now, but when you actually play it offline, you've got something to compare it to. So
I have played it offline. It is better offline.
I mean, like
it's definitely better. I'm not saying it's not better offline, but the consistency online, I didn't have like an issue with. Like the way that I know that like the difference between how you perform offline in Street Fighter 5 to online, I didn't feel like I was hampered in that way anywhere near as much. Like it was literally.
I feel like the big thing about it that I could kind of tell is like, you know, in Street Fighter 5, you'd be like, I tech that throw, and it didn't tech.
Yeah.
Like in this game, it didn't. I did not recall one time where like I'm tech that, and then you know what I mean.
It just didn't happen.
In this game, it's impossible to not tech the throw.
Yeah.
There's something in this game. I think it might be a priority system. I'm not sure, but there's something in this game that guarantees that you go and take that throw. And if they didn't throw, if they went for a fast normal, you're eating that normal. It's like the game just is like, yeah, you've gone for the tech and you shouldn't have, you're getting punished. Which I think is something that they've tried to get rid of from the old kind of throw teching systems that we've had in 4 and 5. Where people are just going for it and hoping for the best.
So what? So
how many times have I dealt with this Dragon Impact? Dragon Impact, you know?
We'll get there.
No, Dante, I'm gonna send you the link. But this whole stream is just me seeing people drive Impact and dealing with it. and on and this was when I was bad. Sunday I was.
I could be wrong, but I'll still read into better tenor that they.
I'll take that bet, man. I'm telling you, I will take that bet.
And I will take the pain of them knowing that they've nerfed the game for no damn reason if it goes wrong.
They ain't gonna do it, man.
It won't be painful though, because why would it bother you that much if Drive Impact?
Because I think it's perfect and I think it adds to the quality of the game at the moment.
No, it does not.
Nah, man, I want to keep
the quality of the game.
No, I want to keep it the strength that it is because that's free damage when I punish that thing. I want people to think that it's as strong as you're saying it is because. What I'm seeing on screen, that's what I want to see.
Now, I will say though, if it was out of the game, then...
Oh, it wouldn't
I think the game would be worse. I think the game would be worse.
I don't think it'd be worse. I don't think it'd be any different.
I'm having so much fun dealing with random people trying to throw fireballs at me at Power Rangers. That is fun to me.
So what about?
I don't want to have to jump it.
But there's other ways around fireballs as well. Like,
Yeah,
I think
but this is the most fun way. And every time someone throws a bad fireball, the game tells them. That's it. The reason that I like Drive Impact so much is because it's a really visceral, clear indication that you've done something wrong in the game. You should have reacted. You shouldn't have done this here. You should have used a cleaner block string.
Should have been blocking for 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been so passive on defense.
Shouldn't have been pushing to the corner. Shouldn't have been burnout.
You shouldn't have been using long range. It tells you straight away.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have been fucking up.
Yeah.
And those things are really in Mortal Kombat. I think one of the cleverest things I've ever put into that game, and they've left it there, is the uppercut, because it's really fast. It does really high damage. In theory, it does 14 damage raw, no combo for the most part. What are we seeing? How many times? But it's something that a beginner straight away sees and says, "Oh, this does a lot of damage. Oh, this is a good anti-air. Oh, this is fun to use." And over time, they start to learn the weaknesses. Oh, it loses to this. Oh, it can be ducked. Oh, it doesn't do as much damage as its combo. But for the whole time, and NRS is known to make games, fighting games, that casual players seem to love, even though they don't take off competitively all the time for other issues. Drive Impact reminds me of that. Here's this mechanic. It looks scrubby at the start, but it's easy to learn and hard to master. And there's a bunch of big weaknesses to it. Every time someone's using it on me, they're taking mad damage, and they're starting to learn why.
Look at Super Dash in Dragon Ball Fighters. Everybody complains about that, but there's counters to it, and if you do use it at high level, you're gonna get punished. So
it's the same kind of. It's
very,
important
very
to have mechanics like this in fighting games because it keeps people playing them and it keeps them like popular and growing. And I'm against dumbing down games in a lot of ways, but this is a dumbing down system that's, in my opinion, flawless. And I didn't think that straight away.
I do feel like though you are really looking at it as someone who is very good at Street Fighter. When I feel like this mechanic is way too hard to deal with as someone who's not pretty much on your.
But
then instead of that, then you just use it.
And you remember we already talked about how you're like 0.01 or whatever percent. So what about the other? I'm pretty sure 90% of people are gonna first of all complain and get smoked by this one mechanic. And
Yeah,
it's not gonna be,
but it can't be.
They will complain about it.
It can't be. It can't. You can't have 90% of people getting smoked by it because the other set is 45%. The other 45% is going to be using it. Like
everyone's gonna use it. Everyone's gonna use it, and everyone's gonna get smoked by it as well.
I mean, you're either gonna win or lose, right?
But that 90%, probably 95%, are all gonna pretty much dislike this mechanic because it literally goes against what one of the most basics that you've been told in fighting games is to just block when you want to block an attack.
Just because you've been told that you should do something for ages doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Right? From you lot standpoint, it's very good for you lot because it's interesting and it's a high level. It's fun to deal with as a high level person who has good reactions.
I think it's fun to deal with a low level.
95% of players are not gonna like it.
I don't think you need good reactions to
you don't need good reactions.
No.
You do need good reactions.
Nah.
There was a game.
What?
There was a game that launched about 6-7 years ago, right? That didn't have Drive Impact, but in that game, Daigo lost to Lupe Fiasco. Now you may know what that game was, you may not, but I'm saying there was a game that launched, right, with Daigo losing to Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, I got money.
What game was that? 5?
It was Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5, bro.
Well, bro, the Street Fighter 5 was done for other reasons, though.
Yeah, man.
That game definitely had its issues.
But I'm saying that,
all these fighting games have their issues. I'm just saying this is one of the issues that I feel. One of 2 issues that I feel like is the only issues with the game, and the rest of it, the game is sick. Oh yeah, you know what? I have to ask you lot something as well. I actually forgot about this. I'm extending it a little bit, but basically, certain block strings the block string issue. What do you lot feel like? So Guile's stand medium punch now is 0. Like, what do you not feel about this? Like, I agree with it.
I actually do. I think it's interesting that, like, you know, most likes are just negative. It's like when you say block string, it's like, what? Block string?
Your moves are all unsafe.
Yeah.
And that creates this situation where you have to respect everything.
Why do you have to respect everything?
Because
you should get some offense when you earn it.
Well, check this then. How do you feel about the fact that it kills autopilot?
It's not necessarily autopiloting by you doing some offense. Like one of the biggest things, like obviously I'm looking at it as a Tekken player, but I feel like, let's say in Tekken you made jab -1 instead of +1, that would completely change the game, and I don't think it would make change the game for good, because it just there will be no way to actually like mount like legitimate offense.
Yeah, it would. You would crouch jab instead. You would duck jab.
You would what?
You would duck jab more.
Why would you duck jab more if you're the one who's in plus when you've blocked a jab?
Because your fastest move, generally speaking, is 10 frames, and it's a higher jab, so a duck jab will beat it.
Yeah, but like then you're being forced to do a move that's low parryable.
Yep.
And like you're being forced to.
No. Wait. Just to be clear, you say that all jabs are -1 instead of +1, or +1 instead of -1.
I'm saying they go from +1, because they're +1 now. Every jab, for the most part, is +1.
Yeah.
If they went from +1 to -1, it would completely change the game in a bad way.
Why? Because I'm saying that if they did that, and your jab was now negative on block, more people would be encouraged to stand jab and then crouch jab, and then you'd get plus frames from that if you guessed correctly.
But then, basically, what that means is every time you do any sort of offense, you're taking a risk that can potentially end the round.
Okay,
if you do any sort of offense, there's no way to safely mount offense in that way. That's what I feel like with this game. It's like the fact that you can get mashed out of any block string. It's like, okay, being able to have the whiff punishing better, all that, fine. You know what I mean? That's good. That's good for the game. The way that throw text reset neutral, all of that stuff.
So it's just beating his own point.
That's beating his own point. Like that, I don't necessarily agree with it, because I feel like you should be able to mount some sort of offense.
So basically, I think you worded it better there, and now I understand it more. I didn't like your Tekken example, but your argument there is that it should be easier to mount offense. I think that's preference, in my opinion. I like it like this.
I feel like especially against certain characters, when you get in, you get like, you force them to block, you should be rewarded for it.
So
like,
wait,
but you don't like
if you're not even getting a reward getting in, then it's just like, what are we doing here?
Like Drive Impact.
I'll work my ass off to get in.
Like Drive Impact. Like, bro, this is what I'm saying. You circled back on the other side of the argument. Like, if we're talking about the fact that, like, when you're blocking, you can interrupt it, making an active decision at literally any point, because block strings aren't true in this game like they are before.
No, but this is frame advantage. I'm not talking about blocking something and then you get wall splatted. I'm talking about getting frame advantage to force you into a situation where you are on the disadvantage.
But you're talking about But you're talking about someone jabbing you in a game with Street Fighter 6 where it's negative. So it's like, I don't really care what you just hit me with. If you're hitting me with something that looked quick, I'm just going to challenge you because you're probably negative.
Yeah,
but that's an active decision.
Basically, what you're saying, like, I think you worded it really eloquently, insofar as you should be awarded or be rewarded for starting offense or giving ways to start offense. But we are coming full circle then. One of the ways to start offense is to take this risk on this move.
Mm. So is Dante saying that moves are less advantage on block now?
Almost every move in the game is negative.
Negative.
Yeah.
So your opponent can press a button to interrupt it.
If you imagine, like, Cammy standing medium punch, catch a medium punch, block before. Cammy standing medium punch, now you can challenge.
So the answer to that is you can try and perfect parry if you're at negative. And that will stop people mashing, because if there is a risk that you're gonna get perfect parried, then they're gonna be more.
I was gonna say that,
and that's how the meta of the game will evolve.
I was gonna say that, but he's saying that he wants to start a free offense, And I guess that means he wants to start an autopilot offense.
But it's a different game. It's a different game.
It's just a different game.
And it's a different mentality.
My issue with this though is that pretty much like every situation is like the reactions to it, like it's too risky. Like, if that makes sense, like that would just force a lot of like weird decisions that can like be risky instead of like being able to like. I feel like maybe some characters you can balance it in that way, but like some other characters, I don't know, like you should be able to at least do certain block string, maybe a 2-hit block string, and you should have some plus frames. Whereas like I don't feel like everything should be minus.
There are some plus frames.
I don't feel that
there are some plus frames.
I don't feel like there's enough.
You can do jabs as block strings, and they're really true block strings.
Yeah, because they cancel. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are options for like maintaining offense. And if somebody wants to mash after everything, the other thing that's clearly in there is a lot of the medium and heavy specials will come out slow enough to catch them as well. So if I know someone's going to press a button after my back heavy, for example, I'll go for heavy lightning legs. It leaves a big enough gap that I'm going to get hit. And I might, if I do that into like a Hazanshu, I can get a counter hit, get a combo off it. So I don't think that's gone. I think it just works differently in this game, and I think it works for the better.
You can even be a little bit more reserved in that, because like if you know that someone's going to try and interrupt your block string, you can tap them from like max range of like your jab or your poke or whatever, and then just shimmy back.
Yeah.
Rather than go for a shimmy forward into a throw, you just go for a punish counter.
So I mean, basically, I guess what the answer is there is
respect them, and then hopefully they stick out a button. And then like.
Well, if they didn't stick out a button,
that means they're locking in.
Then you could have gone. You could have kept kept them in your block string or in your pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like before, it's like okay, like with certain characters, you could just do the 2 medium punches, and then you could get some situation where it's just like okay, I can force the situation on you now where you can't mash.
Yeah, and
that forces you in a disadvantaged situation where you can do, obviously you might be able to reversal or whatnot, or you might have to spend meter but V reversal or whatever. But like this it seemed like obviously you're not in like Guile's stand media punch. Nobody's in a disadvantage. It's neutral. So it's like I you know what I mean, I got in, I made you block this, and it's just like now it's a neutral situation, so it's just like I don't know. I feel like there should be more like you know what I mean. I feel like you should basically. I feel like you kind of should be like 5, where you like. I don't feel like the issue with 5 was because normals like had that plus on block stuff. I feel like the issue with 5 was the V triggers.
Would you not say that one of the biggest issues in Street Fighter V's history was the existence of Kami? Autopilot, automatic, never-ending pressure strings.
I think Kami was an issue because
plus frames, range frames. Can't do anything.
Her V trigger. She had some blocks.
We know the V trigger is strong as well,
but
like 3 autopilot pressure.
That's a different story. But that you could adjust the frame data for that. But the main issue with Kami is the fact that she jumps, and now you have to guess.
All of those.
Yeah.
Is it every single good character in Street Fighter 5 that had the same?
It's like Ibuki. They kept trying to take away.
Ibuki got killed when that happened.
Yeah.
Kami actually got killed to some extent.
Yeah.
Because they dealt with standard medium.
They just made the buttons reasonable and.
Come on.
Yeah, most of the. Man, instantly talking Tom B. Instantly, I would say one of the worst things about Street Fighter 5 was this existence of autopilot, easy mode, never-ending pressure, and they've gotten rid of that straight away, and they've given you several fun ways to deal with it. You
really think that was an issue when you had
Kami
V reverse?
Are you seriously asking if I thought Kami was an issue even without?
No, I'm not on
V-trigger?
about Kami specifically. I'm on about one of the main issues with Street Fighter wasn't the V triggers rewarding you from getting your ass kicked. It was the fact that the characters could pressure you, even though you had V reversal and you had flipping the other one as well, the blue thing, the blue teleport fucking shit. I forgot what it's called. Do you think that was the main issue, and it wasn't the flipping V triggers that rewarded you for getting battered, and then now you can just take the whole momentum, force all these guessing situations, and now you won because you got your ass fucking kicked.
I don't think anyone's gonna argue that V trigger
was a problem.
It was a characteristic
Some
of the game,
characters.
and a lot of people didn't like V-Trigger. That's like
No,
a
I'm saying
separate
the
thing.
concept of V-Trigger was a
V-Triggers
problem.
were the issue of Street Fighter 5. Let's not cap it. They were the issue.
It was
Like,
a big issue.
No, I can't say that because
V-Triggers.
V-Trigger is Street Fighter 5. Like that's the whole game. So you can't say it's the problem with the game. It's like that's like saying the problem with Third Strike is parrying. No, like Third Strike is parrying. You can't pull him away.
The fact that they designed a game around a mechanic that rewards you for losing is the main issue of the game. They should not have designed a game around a mechanic that rewards you for getting battered.
That's
That is
fine.
not good game design.
So this time they haven't, and we've erased that, and that's not an issue.
Yeah,
What they've left in the game. What?
Magically, people are saying it's like one of the funnest games they've played in Street Fighter.
What? For 6 or 5?
6?
Oh.
Because it doesn't reward you for getting battered.
Yeah, because the game's dope as hell.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons it doesn't reward you for getting battered. All the best fighting games don't reward you for getting smoked.
I mean, it rewards you for smoking the other person, which I think is
Yes,
what's doing it for me right
you
now.
can be rewarded for smoking someone.
But I don't know how we've disappeared from the argument here about not being able to do safe autopilot pressure. That's the only reason I spoke about 5 and about Cammy.
That is fundamentally that's fine. That was fine. That wasn't the issue. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't the issue with Street Fighter 5. The fact that they had this pressure when they get in and they earn whatever, that's cool. But the issue was when they're getting battered now they can just pop V-Trigger and then change the whole momentum and like literally become a boss character because they got smoked.
Now I'm changing the title of this podcast to the problem with lazy Street Fighter players. You don't want to defend properly.
So you really think, okay, if you put out a survey and said what was the issue with Street Fighter, V-Triggers or block strings, you really think people would pick block strings over V-Triggers?
But nobody's arguing that. That's not like...
You're arguing that. You're saying that the issue with Street Fighter 5, the biggest issue, was the block strings.
Nuance, I'm saying an issue. I'm saying an issue. Not the issue. An issue.
The biggest issue. You rather did say the biggest
No, I said one of the biggest issues, Cammy. Not the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues.
Cammy's one specific character, and Cammy's block strings is just.
And Cammy was rude.
But she was the problem. She was a problem. She was amazing. Like, listen,
6 Cammys in.
Listen, you play. All right, it might be a case of like playing to a higher level, but you play high enough, right? You get over a lot of V triggers. Like, you understand, yeah, it seems kind of cheap. They've got it because I've been beating them.
No, you've accepted it because you love Street Fighter. That's what.
Oh, absolutely.
You played it enough.
Absolutely.
You accepted it, and because you love Street Fighter, you accepted that V-Triggers in the game and they're not going, so you dealt with it. But you cannot carry on like, bro, man, like Cody popping the fucking knife or pole isn't just fucking dumb, bro, for too far. Like, or shit.
Yeah,
like,
but you can say that, but how many people are saying the problem with Street Fighter 5 is Cody?
But what's the problem with Cody's knife and pole? Is it not because his normals become dumb?
Yeah!
What are we talking about? You named one V-trigger that brings it back to normals? What are we talking
The
about?
problem with with Cody's knife is that he's walking up at you with 1,000,000+ frames and they're all chipping you out. Same thing.
I'm not saying everything should be mad plus, but the thing is, Cody's block strings when he gets the knife. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, he becomes Cammy. He becomes Cammy. What are you talking about?
It's not even just that. It's the fact that it costs 2 bars.
Carrots and home run.
It's the fact that these moves that have mad range on them are now mad plus as well. Like that is a different issue. But I'm on about in general, the V triggers are way more of an issue than the block string.
Yeah, and we agree. Like nobody's arguing. We got you. We believe you. We're on the same page there.
What, you agree with me?
Yeah, we never disagreed.
Yeah.
There we go then. I'm saying the block strings weren't issue. So like in Street Fighter 6, like I don't feel like you should eliminate like how the block strings were. Like I feel like that's fine, especially
it's made it a more dynamic game.
Especially having drive impact and having perfect parry in the game. I feel like this even more should be a game where you should have those kind of block strings because you have better counterplay to those block strings with the mechanics that's actually in the game.
I mean, it's dynamic now. Like you've got so many so many solutions for dealing with the fact that somebody might do something against your negative frames. I think it's fine. Man.
It's a new game though, you know.
Yeah,
I feel like it's quite random not having that plus frame to have to force that situation where you can limit their options. The fact that you can put when you do these certain things and you're not limiting their options at all.
But you're limiting their options with drive impact, which you've already said.
That can result in quite random situations, like quite random scrambles, where it's too hard to read what your opponent's going to do.
And that's good. That's what this game is.
You should play Third Strike, you know, because that's how it was. That's how it was.
Your Third Strike is literally nothing safe.
Yeah.
Like you got to make a read on everything.
And you're plus, but you're scared to press a button because you might get parried. And that's Third Strike.
And people love the game.
Yeah,
but like didn't you say that you had that plus frame though? Like you was plus.
Yeah, but you're still scared. We're in a situation, and you know what this is because you know that in Tekken you talked about the jab, but you also know that plus frames don't exist. Somebody might step what you wanted to do. Somebody might crouch what you wanted to do.
They do exist, but the fact that
there's a dynamic interaction, which means that because I'm plus doesn't mean I get to do anything I want. And I think Street Fighter 6 is in the same place. It doesn't matter whether you're plus or minus. You still got
the fact that I'm jabbed. Listen, it does because the fact that I did jab and it's +1, it gives me an oversight on basically the options that you have, and I can somewhat limit you from mashing. So like basically, if I'm +1 on jab, if you respond with your fastest attack and I do another jab, I frame trap you. That forces you to rather step. Or like do an evasive move or something, but I know that these are the issues that you got.
So I agree with you there.
I can play accordingly, but if it was 0 now, and you could also mash back and we traded or whatnot, it would just make it random because now I can't I initiated, I made you block this attack, but now everything is just neutral. So it makes it more random. It makes it more anything can happen. So there's too many options for me to know exactly. Do you know what I mean? To make an educated.
I know what you mean, but we're saying that you being minus with the options that we've got in Street Fighter 6 means that you can still make an educated guess and you can make a clever one. Me being minus after Rashid run spins. Doesn't that gives me an informed guess that you're gonna try and press a button and I'm gonna EXDP, and that was that's something that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So you being minus on a low forward gives you an educated guess that they're gonna press a button that you can drive impact, that you can parry, that you can cancel into to beat, that you can you have a lot of options for it. So I think it's more a characteristic of the game rather than a negative. I think the game's really good for it because it gives you the options.
We'll agree to disagree. If you really think why would anything be put? Why don't we just make everything minus in every fighting game then?
Well, they've just done it in this and it's working.
Make everything minus and see what happens. Let's make everything that was plus neutral. Everything.
I mean that's not so far off First Strike.
Yeah, because of the parry.
We're saying a mechanic is.
Everyone likes First Strike though.
Yeah, but not everyone's gonna like Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that's
okay.
It's a good game.
Everyone like 5.
But luckily, we all seem to like it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my man said that there was plus frames. You could do plus block strings in Street Fighter 5, but it's just the parry. No, in Street Fighter 3, it was just the parry. But you've got parry in this game, so it's
and you've got plus frames in this game as well.
There's a reason why you had those plus block strings to limit limit their options and to make an educated guess on what they're gonna do afterwards.
But there are still
make everything 0, everything plus 0. It's just it's gonna be too hard to make an educated guess, or it'll be too random.
But there are still plus frames in the game, lots of them, and they've got the whole drive rush mechanic, which gives you even more plus frame stuff. So you still got those. You might have to use meter for them, but they're all there. We have burnout as well, which adds +4 to everything that you block. So, immediately you put someone in burnout, and now you've got everything that you just spoke about.
That is true. Once you put them in burnout, so, but it's not guaranteed you're gonna put them in burnout though. So I don't know. That seems very situational. But
we got a dynamic game in it. And I mean, of course, if everyone's just drive impacting everything, they're gonna run out of meter eventually.
Well, bro, this is what I mean. Drive impact doesn't cost a lot.
It costs you 25% every time you use it against me. maybe more.
Well, against you.
That's right. Yo, this has been too long, man. I'm trying to go to bed. Dante, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I want to get a couple more people on at some point. I want to get Curran on. I want to get some Third Strike players on as well, because I've seen some Street Fighter 3 players that complained about 4 and 5 and are still complaining about 6. So
What?
So I ain't gonna name names, but I'll let them come on.
What are they saying about 6 goals in Drive Impact?
What we're seeing is we're seeing players that are failing to adapt. And
That's it.
From like 15, 16 years ago.
we're going to talk about the Sanford situation as well. We're going to talk about old players that can't adapt.
Oh yeah, I can't talk on that one. Yourself is a homie still. I can't talk on that one. I can't.
No, there's some things to discuss, but for now, we're going to call it a day. I think it's been a bit of fun. Dante, thank you for sitting with us. I thought it was going to be 10 minutes, but man's got the character to carry the whole thing, so like appreciated. And yeah, for everyone that tuned in, good speaking with you. Let us know what your thoughts were. And yeah, we might do more of these.
Big up the merch, innit?
We'll big up the merch. These will go available soon. Versus Fighting X. Well, long story short, the merch came 2 weeks after the event. I'm furious, but this is probably this is categorically the most comfortable hoodie I've ever worn in my life. Even if I wasn't shotting it, I would say the same thing.
Agreed.
It's hoodie season now. I've heard nobody say otherwise. So pick up the thing. Support Dojo where you can. We've got a King of Fighters tournament coming up soon, which you'll hear more about. So play King of Fighters 15 because it's dope. And yeah, can't wait for Street Fighter 6. Thanks for showing up, and we will talk to you soon.
Alright, safe.
Peace. Alright, one.
Yeah.
No. Ruin the whole